So good morning or good night, depending on where you are in the world, and welcome to another collaborative album review of The Shield Dude on a Couch. I'm your host, Hector, and again, I'm joined by Señorita Sabrosura on this one. So, Señorita, how are you?
Good, good. How are you?
I'm good. And today we're gonna talk about another like up-and-coming indie rock band. This one is from Dublin, Ireland, and the band is called Pillow Queens, and this is the album. It's called Name Your Sorrow. And yeah, this is a great album cover, and I like when I see this cover, I don't know, I think a lot of like 90s nostalgia, or like it has like that 90s vibe,
Yeah.
like a Macy Star type of like album cover. What do you think of the album cover?
Yeah, it gave me like that 90s vibes. It reminded me, I don't know, when we were teenagers and we used to go like to the river or to a lake and then like play with the water when you're
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, this is the album cover. And for those of you that don't know, so they're a band from Dublin, Ireland. They put out an EP in 2016. Then their first full length came in 2020. They put another one in 2022. So this is their third full length album. I discovered them randomly through Spotify. I was looking for like newer music that wasn't like metal. So I checked like the indie rock punk stuff, and I found this band and the other band that we just covered a few days ago. So yeah, this is an album. So we're gonna talk our first impressions of listening to it. We're gonna talk tracks, and then we're gonna like give it a score and our final thoughts. So, Señorita, like, what were your initial thoughts listening to Pillow Queens?
well, again with this band like the other one. I'm glad that, like I had a few days to listen to it and to digest it, and because I think it's a grower, and the more, but this one I like it even more than the other one. The more I listen to it, the more I like it. um it remind me a little the style of the music, like Boy Genius,
That's what I was gonna say myself.
but harder, like Boy
Yeah.
Genius, a softer band. Some of the songs and some of the music, not the voice but the music, remind me early Decaf for Cutie too, uh like when they were starting. My husband said that the voice remind him of Perry Farrell.
I don't hear Perry Farrell in there, but yeah, interesting.
But for me, the voice, I was like, oh, this voice remind me of someone, and and then one day I was like putting my music on shuffle, and I know who they remind me. The voice remind me of the singer of the Interrupters.
Oh,
But the Interrupter is like more raspy, but it's very similar, the voice. Not the music, but the voice.
yeah. Well, actually, I was reading, and they have more than one singer. You know, the
Oh, but
three
but
vocalists.
one of the voices.
Yeah, Pamela, Connolly, and Sarah Corcoran. So they swap playing and rhythm guitar and bass and the singing. So that's why they reminded me of Boy Genius, because
Yeah.
we did like that swapping of the singing. Only that, yeah, Boy Genius is more like folky at times.
Mhm.
This one is not a hard record, but it's a little bit like more punkier indie rock.
And the genius.
But I didn't listen to Perry Farrell.
Yeah.
Perry Farrell has like a very
He said
distinct
like
voice.
that voice. One of the voices. I don't know.
Yeah. So yeah, my initial thoughts too was like I enjoyed it. I thought that it had that Boy Genius type of vibe. And something very important to note about the band, you know, they're a four-piece women band, and they're openly LGBT community, and most of their lyrics they explore the intersection of religion and queerness, which I'm sure can be a struggle. And obviously, growing up in Dublin, Ireland, so I did a little bit of research for the band, but I think like listening to it, you don't have to be a member of that community to enjoy the music. I think most of
No.
what they sing transcends to like every gender.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
So yeah, my initial thoughts is like I was thinking of other bands, but yeah, I took a few days to listen to it as well. But I quite enjoyed it. So now we're gonna talk maybe tracks that we enjoyed and why.
Well, I enjoyed the whole album, but
Of course you
track
did.
that struck out to me was like a lesson. I think this is like my favorite track of the album. It gave me again 90s vibe. It's like very catchy melody, and I like the lyrics too.
Oh, the lyrics are great, especially the part where she says like, I don't want to make a mistake, but I want to go home with you. And you're thinking, yeah, like, been there,
Yeah.
done that.
The other one I like, Blew Up the World. I like how it opens with an acoustic guitar and then it builds up. I like those kind of songs. And another one I enjoy, Heavy Pour. That remind me a lot of Boy Genius, uh, because she says like, I'm not mad enough, and then it remind me of Genius when they sing I'm not strong enough.
To be your man, yeah.
Yeah. But I like how it starts with the fuzzy guitars and the strong drums. It's another energetic song.
Yeah. And did you watch the music video for Heavy Pour?
No, I
Oh,
didn't.
it's great. I'll put a link for people to watch the music video. It's like in black
I
and
have to
white,
watch it.
and they're like playing a pool, and they have some they have like some like almost suits at sometimes. And when I saw the music video, yeah, it's very Boy Genius, but like Boy Genius, I get a lot of recognition because they have a lot of like Phoebe Bridges is like a international superstar, but this band is really good as well. Any other track that you quite enjoyed from the
I don't remember right now, but those three like really stood out to me. What track
yeah.
did you enjoy?
So like a lesson and actually the one that you mentioned and Heavy
Blew Up
Blue are
Or-
both singles. Are both of the singles, but my favorite song of the record is The Bars Close. I really enjoyed
good
that
one.
one. It really sounded like it didn't sound like semisonic closing time, but it sounded like like when like you're going out and the bar's closed, and so you can't like drink your sorrows away. So it felt like that. So like being unable to cope with things because you can't go out and drink, which I thought was interesting. And something that I really enjoy about this band is the vocal melodies. I like how they do it. The two voices are a little bit different. I still can't listen to Perry Farrell, so I'll have to ask your husband where did he listen to that, because I'm like Perry Farrell. I think Heavy Pour is just great, especially the lyrics and the way that they sing like, oh, your heavy pour keeps me at your door. So analyzing it, it's like it sounds like it's a relationship that is not that great.
Yeah, for me it was the chorus of that song. Like, I'm not man enough.
Yeah, it's a great chorus. But I also got that, that I remember that Boy Genius song because they said I'm not man enough. They said something
Not
similar,
strong enough.
but not people. It doesn't sound the same. It's not the same.
It doesn't sound the same. Just the chorus, like you remind me. I'm not strong enough. I'm not mad enough.
Yeah,
But it's a great song. It's very energetic, and
yeah.
I enjoy it.
I like a lesson too, but I think the album opener, February 8th, is interesting.
It's just something like "Let's play rock and roll," something like that. The first lines.
Yeah, and it starts slower, and I'm trying to think what happens on February 8th. Like, I'm sure it's a date that is important for some of the members, but I would like to know the backstory. So, Pillow Queens, if you're watching this, it would be interesting to have you on the couch to talk about this album and more, and maybe get the backstories, because the backstories are always interesting to me.
Yes.
But I think like a lesson, the lyrically again, it's very strong. So I gotta say, those are my favorite tracks, but I gotta say, I don't think this album has any weak tracks, in my opinion. I think They're all solid. There's only a few more that stand out a little bit more to me than others. So, Señorita, what would be your final thoughts on Pillow Queens, Name Your Sorrow?
Well, I really enjoy it. I think it goes fast. It's but it's not boring, and it doesn't sound like all the same. Uh, and I would love to see how this band is going to evolve because it's a great record. So for me, I'll give it a 8.
Yeah. So yeah, it's for me, I think, this is a very interesting band. I think they're a band, those, when they have you remember back in the day in MTV where they have the boss bands or boss worthy. If MTV was relevant now, which is not, this would probably go in that boss band type of
Yes.
mentality. I remember if MTV put a boss band on something, I would check it out. I really like the melodies. I like the flow of the album. It's like a 45-minute album, so it's not super long, not super short. I think the flow of the album is good. Some other tracks, Friend of Mine, Gone is really good. It's more faster pace, so they have more distortion in some of their songs, but I really enjoyed it. I think there's maybe some songs at the end, One Night or Love Two, that I enjoyed, but maybe a little bit not as much as some of the others. And I think it's Notes on Worth it's a decent album closer. But I think the ones that we mentioned are the ones that stick out the most. And I think for me, the best songs on the album definitely is Heavy Pour and The Bar's Closed and Like a Lesson. Those 3 songs to me are the strongest. But yeah, so I would also rate it at 8 out of 10. And I would also like to see how the band evolves and the sound. And I'm going to listen to more of their earlier stuff.
Yeah, I'm gonna check out the previous albums.
Yeah. So we want to know from you, Couchers, what do you think of Pillow Queens, Name Your Sorrow? If you haven't listened to this band, I would recommend that you do. Musically, it's very solid. And I think for me, the strongest things on this album is the lyrics. I think they write emotive lyrics that everyone can relate to. So I would recommend it to everyone that likes lyrics. And if you like bands like Boy Genius, like we mentioned, and the other bands, and apparently Jane's Addiction.
Oh, but the voice, not the music. But the voice, it reminds me a little also of the Interrupters.
Yeah. No, musically, this doesn't sound anything like Jane's Addiction. But yeah, it's a great up-and-coming band that you should not sleep on. So I want to thank again Señorita Sabrosura for taking time to listen to music with me and discuss it on the couch. If you haven't, subscribe to her channel. She's now really putting a lot of content out there. She's got a series called Must Own on or Must Have on Vinyl, and she discusses like alternative rock, electronic. She's going to do salsa, and most of the episodes are in Spanish, but there's also one in English.
Yes.
And she, it's a great content, and I'm proud to say that my protege is growing.
Yes.
But she won't leave the Shield Dude on a couch. We will still
never.
We will still do collaborations. And of course, if you haven't subscribed to me, please do so. If you enjoy the content that I put out, I have interviews, album reviews, Is It That Bad series, and many more stuff. So subscribe if you want to know more about and I cover all type of bands. I can talk about I can talk about a band like Cannibal Corpse, and I can talk like a Boy Genius. So it doesn't matter. I take every type of music if I like it. So Señorita, so coming up next for the channel for people on this weekend, I have an interview for the band Scooped Up, which is a pop punk band from Connecticut, and they do everything themselves. Great guys. So that will be this Saturday night at 7 p.m. And also on Sunday, Is It That Bad is back with the new Alien Ant Farm.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that. So Until next time, people, this is Hector, the shield dude on a couch. And
Señorita
we'll-
Sabrosura.
Yeah, and we'll see you all right here on the couch. Thank you and goodbye.